The Good Shepherd, Part 9. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. The summer ranges for sheep are called alplands or tablelands. And so when David speaks of preparing a table, he's probably speaking about an entire grazing range that is remote and hard to reach. As the shepherd, he has been there before the sheep many times. He's scouted out the best path to get there. He's laid salt licks all along the way. He's eradicated poisonous weeds that could kill his sheep. So overall, he's laid out a summer feeding program that will be highly beneficial for the flock. There is a parallel in this for you and me. We might feel like we need to try everything in life that comes our way, even if it might be deadly or destructive. But we need to remember that Jesus, our shepherd, has been there before us, coping with every situation that might undo us. There is an example of this with Peter, one of Jesus' disciples. Jesus told Peter that Satan desired to sift him like wheat. In other words, Satan had Peter as a target for destruction. But Jesus comforted Peter by telling him that he had already prayed for him so that his faith would not fail. Peter did go through a severe trial, but he rebounded to become one of the leaders of the early church. Jesus is going ahead of every one of us. He is anticipating our dangers and praying so that we will not succumb to them. The shepherd constantly keeps an eye out for predators, hunting and trapping so that they will not harm his flock. These predators watch from high places, or they lurk in the crevices of rocks where they can easily pounce on the passing sheep. But for all his watching, a shepherd can find that a predator has cunningly gotten in amongst the flock. A few are dead, and some who panicked have broken bones or have been torn apart by sharp claws. The shepherd didn't see the predator personally, but he can see the damage done to his flock. Today, many try and laugh off Satan with a joke and say he doesn't exist, but all around us we can see his merciless attacks. Men and women fall prey to his cunning tactics every day, and thus we see lives torn and marred by his assaults, even though we don't see Satan personally. When we are in the midst of Satan's attack on us, we can forget to call out to Jesus to help us. But do call out because he wants us to stay close to him so that he can protect us at all times. Scripture tells us that Jesus was tempted in all ways, just like we are. That's because he was fully human. He has gone before us in experiencing temptation and trials, and therefore he can identify with us. That's why he has a care and a compassion for us that we find hard at times to grasp. Jesus makes every preparation for us to be able to cope with Satan and not be at his mercy. He knows that trouble will come for each of us. But if we stay close to Jesus, then we will overcome, because Jesus overcame. Remember that Jesus went through Gethsemane alone. He stood alone through each of his trials. He went to the cross alone. All of this was done ahead of us so that through his death and resurrection, our lives could have a mountaintop experience. He has prepared for each of us a tableland, or good things, and he has done it right in the presence of our enemies. Jesus is so pleased when he sees us flourish on the tablelands of a noble and honorable life, a life that he has made possible for us. It's a deep desire for Jesus that we live above the level of common humanity, on a higher plane, walking with him in holiness with a single purpose, and doing it all under his care and keeping. We are meant to enjoy a deep intimacy with Jesus, and to find his tableland is to have found something of Christ's love for us.